Welcome to the Tools of Awakening classes. My name is Pernilla Burke. I'm here with my very good friend, Abdi Assadi. Today we are in class number 5 of a series of classes on the breath. And these classes have been very practical, I think, because our intention has been to create very simple tools that you can go to throughout your day and just access and still your mind, create greater awareness and relaxation in your body. And it's very practical. This is not like a spiritual, you need to meditate. They're tools. And to be honest, they work. So today we're going to go through the practices that we've practiced before, which are nostril awareness, abdominal breathing, and 3-part breathing. And then we're going to add a practice about exhaling at the end, because as Abdi said in the last classes, that exhaling is something that we forget and that we're not very good at. When we do breathing exercises, we're great at breathing in, but we're not as skilled at breathing out, exhaling properly, which is a very important part of this process. So should we just begin with one of them since we have a lot to cover?
Well, let's go through all of them. We can actually add all of them together and just run through them.
So let's just do them together, and then I will begin, and then you just take over them.
Great.
All right. So let's close our eyes. And just bring yourself to this moment. Bringing your focus, your attention back onto yourself. And then simply bring your attention to the tip of your nose. And gently just ride the breath here as the breath comes in and as the breath comes out. Just focus here on this gentle sensation of cold air coming in and warm air coming out. You can simply start focusing on the air as it comes back into the back of your throat. And then just gently follow the breath as it comes down into the middle of your chest. Just see here if you can come into the rhythm or fall into sync with the rhythm of the breath. No resistance or forcing. Just flowing with the breath in and out. And then ending up at the lower part of your body, in the belly. And see if you can gently just feel the sensation of the stomach expanding and contracting with each breath. It can be very, very subtle. Just feeling the breath here and then asking yourself, what am I feeling? What are my sensations? What is my state of mind? And from here, we're going to move on to the 3-part breathing.
We're going to continue the breath work by letting the air out. We're going to inhale, awareness on the tip of the nose, the nostrils. And now we fill in the lower lobes of the lungs, so the stomach first comes out, then the middle of the chest, and then the top of the chest. And we exhale through the nose. Awareness on the nostril, filling in the lower lobes of the lungs, so the stomach comes up, then the middle, then the chest, and exhale through the nostrils. And one more time. Nostril, belly, middle of the chest, top of the chest, and nostril. You can gently open your eyes. So we want to add another part to this breathing. What will be different now is that we're not going to exhale through the nostrils, we're going to exhale through the mouth. And just a quick note on this. In many traditions, the inhalation and exhalation can be through the nostrils, but many of them, inhalations through the nose and exhalation through the mouth. That has physiological significance, but more than that, the nostril has hairs that actually cleans the air. So the air gets filtered. So that's why a lot of traditions, when you breathe through the nose, the air is getting filtered through the nostrils. Whereas if you breathe in through the mouth, you're not getting filtration out of it. So the piece that we're going to add now, one of the things that I've realized over the years of working is, we all hold so much tension and we don't exhale all the way. So when we're doing breath work, we're actually holding stale air in, and then we're trying to force
more air in
where there's actually stale air sitting there. So in terms of oxygenation is an issue, in terms of relaxation is an issue. I had this wonderful breathing teacher. This is like over 30 years ago. Sterling was his name. And he taught me this technique, which is deceptively simple. Mm-hmm. So one of the ways that, because we're such sort of always tight muscled, one of the ways when we come aware of our breathing is we want to force the stale air out by tightening the muscles, which is counterproductive, right? So what probably some of us that we're doing this right now, we breathe out and then we're like tightening the muscles. So this technique is designed to allow the tongue, the movement of the tongue, to allow the air to expel without tightening the diaphragm or the actual muscles.
So it's you put that tension on the tongue instead of...
So the tension, it's whole body, but you count. So the idea of counting isn't, you're not counting the length of the breath. The movement of the tongue up and down expels the air. So as I'm talking to you right now, it's expelled air that's making the sounds in my larynx that you can hear.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So just right now, before we put it all together, we take a breath in, just breathe out, just feel how that feels like naturally. Now take another breath, breathe out, and at the end of your exhalation, just count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've been doing this a long time, so I can exhale a long time.
Yeah. I was like,
But
15.
but the thing is, when you get to the end, and it doesn't have to be loud, so you can actually do it under your breath, but you have to be counting loud enough for the tongue to move so the air can expel. So people cannot do it in their mind. No, the idea is that the
Actually
practice is that
count
the
loud.
tongue is actually counting loud enough so it can be gentle, but it has to move. When you can't breathe out anymore, you stop counting, then you breathe in, do your practice, and then again, you exhale till no more comes out, then you count. You can count from the beginning, but it's actually nice to let the air out that the counting is just a shorter practice, right? So again, we do this one more time. We just breathe in,
Okay.
breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then, so it seems like, wow, I'm exhaling a long time. This is from the practice of actually doing this. It's amazing how much the lungs can hold, and it's also painfully amazing how little we allow them to hold.
So, do you think that when you started with the counting, what would be a ballpark so people
Oh,
don't feel like, oh my God, I have to get to
oh.
15 and I'm going to
No.
pass out?
For most people, it'll be 5, 6. I mean, depending how
Yeah,
rapidly you're counting,
exactly.
it's not a lot. So it's a muscle. So you have to understand this is not a race. We have to be very aware. We don't make this another ego
Driven. Yeah.
driven, straining thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much you count. The beautiful thing is you're sitting doing it. The important thing is that you actually pay attention to the feelings of what's going on. And what it is when you start doing this, it really feels delicious because you're massaging your lungs that never get massaged, right?
Yeah. And the breath is nurturing to your body.
Breath is really
So,
huge. Now, one
yeah.
thing, so the part that we said is we've been inhaling and exhaling through the nostril. So one of the things about this practice is physiologically, it is different than breathing through in and out the nostrils, and we don't need to get into it, or we'll get into it at a later session. But I want people to also pay attention. It's a different sensation. It's a very delicious sensation. It's a different thing when you breathe in and out the nostrils than you breathe in through the nostrils and breathe out the mouth. It's
So
actually very
what,
calming.
yeah. So you think it's more calming coming out through the mouth,
It's
or it
different.
doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. I want people to have
Yeah.
their experience. My experience of
Yeah.
it is, yeah. And I don't think about things. It's interesting. People always use the language. Do you think? Thinking is not the issue. Feeling is the issue. If I think about
Yes.
it, I'm in my head thinking about something. I want you to feel what's going on. And again,
Yeah.
as you said beautifully, Pernilla, there's no right or wrong here. But in
No.
my experience, it's actually very calming in a different way that the nostrils go in and out.
Yeah. And
So,
in the end, the whole purpose of this is to bring our awareness away from our mind
correct,
into our bodies
correct,
in order
correct.
to
Yes,
be
and this is a
more
gentle way of
relaxed.
doing it. This is a gentle way of doing
Exactly.
it.
And
Yeah.
it's also an immediate way of doing it because it
Yes.
worked right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will be, like me and you have spoke before, we're going to be tying this into posture in our next sessions, which will make it even more grounded. But we
Yeah.
have to get this part under our belt first, and then when you get the posture part, boom, it's like magic.
Yeah.
So,
Because it all works together somehow
well,
beautifully.
it does, and again, so many of these practices, like we talked about a lot last time, yoga asanas, martial art postures, are designed to work hand in hand with the breath. But the breath is really the mother of it. And it's very easy
It
to kind of
begins
slow
there.
that. It begins there and
Yeah.
ends there. First thing you do, last thing you do. So, yeah. All right. So let's close our eyes. So we're going to tie this all in together nice and gentle. So we're going to inhale through the nostrils, fill in our belly, our middle chest, and our upper chest. We exhale naturally. At the end of our exhalation, we count 1, 2, 3. Then inhale through the nostrils. Fill in the lower lobes, the middle lobes, the upper lobes. And out. And count. Inhale through the nostrils. 3-part breathing. And out. And count. And once again. In. 3-part breathing. And out. And count. And open your eyes. We see that it takes a little bit of work to put all this together. But if you've been following the classes and going piece by piece like we've been going, it should be pretty easy transition because you've got the nostril part down, you've got the awareness through the throat. Then we bring the belly, chest, and upper chest. And then we breathe out. And at the end of exhalation, we count till we can't breathe out anymore. And we repeat it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So I think we can end there, right? I mean,
wonderful. Yep.
Because we've covered everything.
Yes.
And this is a very practice-focused episode, or a class.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because sometimes that's all we need is to just focus on the practice itself. So
yes.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I am Pernilla Burke, and I'm here with Abdi Assadi. This was class number 5 in our breathing classes, and we went through nostril awareness, abdominal breathing, 3-part breathing, and a practice with exhaling by counting and exhaling through the mouth. And that's it. So we'll see you in our next series on the posture.